Let's now talk about the Cameroon Fulbright Alumni Capital, which this week is organizing a workshop on empowering lead teachers in STEM with inclusive competencies. The project was made possible by an award sponsored by the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, with funding provided by the U.S. government. We have Sanyi Cynthia and Robert Kemfak to talk about this project. Sanyi Cynthia, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And Robert Kemfak, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies first, let me start with you, Cynthia. Sanyi. Just talk to us about this association, the Cameroon Fulbright Alumni. What is it all about?
The Cameroon Fulbright Alumni Association is an association of lead teachers who have participated in the Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program of the U.S. Department of State's Education and Cultural Affairs in the United States of America.
What do you mean by lead teachers?
Outstanding teachers. Outstanding teachers, teachers who are leaders, teachers who make impact in and out of their classrooms in their communities.
How are they selected? How does the American government know that these are lead teachers, are outstanding teachers? How is it done?
Okay, the TEA program is one of the other many programs of the American government, which is put online for candidates to apply. There's an application, you fill an application online, and then you're selected.
Is it for teachers only?
The TEA program is for teachers only.
But there are also other programs?
There are also other programs of...
Now, Mr. Kemfak, what are the other programs that Cameroonians can apply for if you want to benefit from these programs?
Oh, there are other programs like the SUSI, which is the study of the United States Institute. There is SUSI for teachers, and there is also SUSI for students. There are other Fulbright programs for researchers. Like you can have Fulbright program for student teachers who are doing research, doctorate, like the newly recruited teachers for the doctorate in the university. They can apply for the Fulbright student to go to the US and carry out the research, and that could be done for a year or two before coming back. And there is another one for visitors, like members of government who could go, the visitor leadership, and they can go and then they spend also a year or 6 weeks and come back. There are many programs at the U.S. Embassy.
And with all of these programs, what is the least qualification to apply?
Oh, actually, you need to be a lead person in a community, as Cynthia just said. Like, you need to be somebody who's very active in your community. If you're a teacher, you need to be a teacher leader, meaning you should be somebody who's ready to organize seminars in order to empower teachers. You should be somebody who has been doing a lot of work in terms of community service. You should be somebody who's been going beyond the normal work to help your students privately or organizing club activities in school. And if you're in government, you should be somebody who is geared toward doing something community work. Like, you help people in the community in creating things that could, like, for example, you're creating water points in the quarter and you're helping people to be able to gather the money available for the project. You're also somebody who can network for your community, meaning you're able to go to NGOs and present project for your community, and you're able to defend the project and get grants. So those are the type of people.
Any academic level, any academic qualification is needed?
Yeah, for the teachers, you need at least to have a bachelor degree. That is, and then you also need experience. You need to have at least 5 years of experience, like, because if you've not yet worked, then you're not going to show any proof of things you've done. So if you're a teacher, then you need to have at least a bachelor degree. And then for the students, like, some go there even before the A level, and they come back before writing. Like, I had a student who went there when he had just had the ordinary level. He went there, spent a year before coming back to continue the studies. So it's for people in the community in general, and it depends, the level depends on the program.
Now, you, Cynthia Sani, how did you know about the program? Who encouraged you? How did you apply? What was the experience? Let's start with how you knew about the program.
Okay, I knew about the program from a former fellow and alumni himself. Told me about the program and asked me if I was interested in applying because he could see the works I've been doing in my school and in my community. And so he told me about the program, and I went online and applied. And I was shortlisted from the US. After the shortlisting, I was invited at the American Embassy because they are the representative of the US government in Cameroon. I was invited there and I went for an interview. And then after my interview, my shortlisting was confirmed. I was a final candidate in 2018 and I went alone. So before traveling, I went for a pre-departure orientation at the American Embassy, and other former alumni were invited for the pre-departure orientation. They gave me some tips on what to look forward to, and I got myself ready, got permission from my school and from the government, and I traveled to the US in January 2018 to attend the teaching excellence.
How long are you there for 1 or 2 years?
No, it's a 6 weeks development, professional development program. And I studied at the Bowling Green University in Ohio.
Just finding out, let me also know, you knew about from a former Fulbright fellow. Have you been talking to about other people about the program?
Sure. Our association has been doing a lot of sensitization. We have a Facebook page which we put out information each time the program is launched. We invite other teachers, we invite colleagues to apply for the program, and we recently organized a mentorship program for aspirants, people who are interested in applying, people who think that they have something to contribute. We invite them for the mentorship program and we give them guides on how to go about their application, and the luck is theirs.
I want to know from two of you, what did you do before you were shortlisted, selected? How did you impact the communities, the students you were teaching?
Okay, my application came from the fact that I studied in the Higher Teachers Training College, Marua, where I realized during my training as a teacher that most people from that part of the country have issues with going to school during the Ramadan period. When I was doing my teaching practice in Government Bilingual High School, Marua, I noticed that some students would rather stay out of school because they are going through their fasting and prayer period and would not want to come to school. So during that period, I applied to the United Nations of Alliance of Civilization Summer School in Coimbra, Portugal, where I had to go and give my experiences on what I noticed from people of the far north region. So this was a very important component in my application when I was applying for the T program, because I had brought this knowledge from Marua, and my first post of work was in Bamayo, and I noticed that even in Bamayo, it was equally a situation of Muslim students having reluctance or feeling reluctance to come to school during the Ramadan period. Back in my school, I am an active member of my school, Government Bilingual Practicing High School, Yaoundé. I'm the secretary of my department. I do a lot of work with members of my department and members of my school community. I am involved with pedagogic inspectors. I was with my inspector today at the Ministry of Secondary Education. I present during seminars, especially in a competence-based approach, because I was trained under that approach in the Higher Teachers Training College. Teachers who have taught maybe for 10 years, did not go through the competency-based approach while they were in the Higher Teachers Training College. But I was opportune, and I'm using that opportunity to share my experiences, to assist inspectors, to assist my fellow colleagues in drawing up lesson planning, in having instructional designs that will fit the needs of our learners.
So, Professor Swami, you know him, the director of that school.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Kemfak Robert,
yes,
what did you do to impact your community that enabled you to succeed for this program?
As Cynthia said, like, we really had to be lead teachers. First, in my school, I used to organize seminars. And before organizing the seminars, even I've been the president of the staff socials of government bilingual secondary, government bilingual high school, Yaoundé. So I was president for 2 years, 2013, 2015, and then I had to create a lot of impact on the teachers. For example, when I took over, I realized teachers were not interested in the socials. So I said, but what could I do? So I decided to organize Keep Fit for teachers. You know, teachers work a lot and they don't have time to even do any other thing. So I said, Keep Fit for them to relax. I organized a lot of activities like traveling for excursions in Balmayo or Ebogo, and we traveled several times, and we organized a lot of activities during Teachers' Day. And I also realized that teachers suffered a lot from diseases and they didn't know. They work a lot and they forget about their health. So, for example, hepatitis B is something that is so common in, especially in the teaching profession for people, because they're always moving and touching, working with people. So I decided to organize screening for our teachers. I went and I networked at the Chantal Bia Foundation, and I got people who could come, and then they screened the teachers, and then those who were positive started taking treatment, and that was quite good for them. And those who were not got themselves vaccinated. So that was really a plus for the community. That was something community service. But as far as teaching itself is concerned, I've been a club coordinator. I've organized a lot of club activities as a language teacher, where I get a student after school to sit in an area which is not the normal classroom, and where they could design things like drawings, sketches, poems, reading for literacy. You know, literacy is something we should develop in our community. And also, I'm somebody who work for student-friendly schools. So I realized with the teachers that, like, we work at times so much so that we turn not to consider the student and see their own problems. And like, some students, they behave the way they behave because they leave home and come with problems. So you need to take care of them. You don't need to shout at them. You need to actually sit down, listen to them, get their problems before you're able to teach them. So I decided to organize seminars on student-friendly schools with my with the teachers of my school and other teachers elsewhere. I organized a lot of seminars on lesson planning and then lesson delivery. Because you could also plan your lesson very well, but you're unable to deliver it properly. So those are some of the things that really went in to give me a plus when I applied for the program.
Good. Now, how many months did you spend there?
I spent 7 weeks.
7 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. We will talk about what you've been organizing here, but let's come back to Sunny Cynthia. Sunny Cynthia, how were you? You had 6 or 7 weeks?
Very engaging in the US.
In the US?
Yes, my 6 weeks, they were very engaging because we had seminars on teaching methodologies, instructional design. We equally had workshops with lecturers of our department in the university. We visited some important places in the US because it's an exchange program. We have to learn the American culture, learn the ways of Americans, and they too learn our own ways. So we had a lot of interaction. We visited important places in the US. Above all, we had a teaching experience. I was sent to teach in the North Sylvania High School in Ohio, where I had a partner teacher. I had a grade 12 as an opposite. I was helping my partner teacher, Vanessa, and we had very nice time with the students, very wonderful experience. And I noticed the use of computer and ICT, which was also very, very much important as one of our training courses. We're giving courses on the use of computer in teaching English language because that's my discipline. We actually used the skills in the classrooms when we went for teaching. because everything is done using the computers. We noticed that students had all Chromebooks, the little computer, and there was no need to use the pen, the chalk, or as we do here. So it was a wonderful experience, very amazing for me, because I have a computer. I had one, but I didn't use it as an instructional tool. So, but in the US, I had the opportunity of learning Google Classroom, collaborate in teaching students, and I actually put it in practice. But above all, it was a wonderful experience for me and for my school and my community, because I developed a lot of skills which I'm using today. I think that I came back from the US a different person. I didn't come back like I went. Yes, no, I didn't come back like I went. I came back ready and more encouraged to do my job and impact the lives of my learners.
So, Kemfra, you're a language teacher.
Yeah.
Comment vous avez passé votre 6 semaines ou 7 semaines d'abord aux États-Unis?
Would you like me to answer in French? Or?
That's why I asked you in French.
Ah, ok. Les 6 semaines passées aux États-Unis, c'était une expérience très agréable, la meilleure des expériences que l'on peut vivre dans sa vie. En fait, je suis parti d'ici, je suis passé par Paris. Et vous pensez, pour quelqu'un qui n'avait pas encore été hors du pays, et pour un premier voyage aux États-Unis, c'était vraiment de la joie pour moi. Et j'ai rencontré beaucoup de personnes en chemin. Par exemple, mes anciens élèves que j'avais tenus ici. J'ai commencé à les rencontrer dans les aéroports à Paris et puis ils me demandaient « Monsieur, qu'est-ce que vous faites là ?» C'est comme cela que ça a commencé et c'était déjà une très belle expérience pour moi. Et les élèves me disaient « Je suis au Canada, je suis aux États-Unis, je suis… » Voilà, c'est comme cela que…
Qu'est-ce que vous avez appris là-bas aux États-Unis?
Aux États-Unis, nous avons appris beaucoup de choses. Nous avons appris le leadership. On avait un cours sur le leadership où on devait nous apprendre comment est-ce qu'on doit être leader dans sa communauté, quels sont les projets, comment ficeler des projets dans sa communauté, comment est-ce qu'il faut résoudre les défis, quand vous avez les challenges lors de vos projets, quelles sont les méthodes que vous utilisez. Nous avons étudié la technologie dans l'usage du matériel technologique dans la salle de classe. Par exemple, l'ordinateur. Aujourd'hui, quand je partais, en fait, je faisais à peine des PowerPoint. Mais maintenant, j'utilise Google Slide. J'utilise Google Forms pour évaluer. Et au point où, avec le Covid, je n'avais plus besoin de corriger les copies. J'ai fait des évaluations sur Google Forms, j'ai envoyé aux élèves, les élèves les font. Et quand ce sont des questions à choix multiples, Google Forms corrige et j'ai directement la note. Et l'élève, après avoir soumis son travail, reçoit directement sa note. J'ai appris Kahoot. Kahoot, c'est un jeu interactif que vous jouez avec l'élève en ligne ou bien dans la salle de classe. Mais comme on ne pouvait pas enseigner, on utilisait Zoom, comme on ne pouvait pas enseigner dans la salle de classe. Et on jouait à ce jeu, c'était très interactif et les élèves aiment vraiment ça. J'ai appris comment ça se passe ailleurs. Nous étions 21 personnes à l'université de Massachusetts.
Combien de pays?
De 21 pays. Donc, j'ai pu rencontrer les gens venant de l'Inde, j'ai rencontré les gens venant de l'Amérique du Sud, j'ai rencontré les personnes venant de l'Europe et d'autres pays d'Afrique.
Qui a payé pour toutes ces formations-là?
Oh, le département d'État américain. C'est le département d'État américain qui sponsorise le programme. Et je puis vous assurer que le Fulbright, nous passons par le Congrès. Ce sont les membres du Congrès qui décident de qui viendra. Parce que même quand le dossier a été étudié ici à l'ambassade des États-Unis, après ils envoient le dossier aux États-Unis et c'est au Congrès que ça se décide. Donc, nous avons reçu des lettres de félicitations du président Trump. J'ai ma lettre de félicitations.
Ce qui est important maintenant, c'est comment ça a changé votre façon de faire, votre façon d'enseigner?
Oh, beaucoup. Ma façon d'enseigner a beaucoup changé. L'approche genre dans la salle de classe. À l'université de Massachusetts, notre formation était centrée la particularité de la formation là-bas, c'était l'usage de l'approche genre dans l'enseignement. Le genre. Et comment faire pour faire en sorte que dans une salle de classe, la fille et le garçon, tous les deux, personne ne se sente lésé. Il faut que tout le monde se sente dans la salle de classe. Ne pas exclure la jeune fille des filières scientifiques et penser que, parce qu'on est enseignant de langue, les langues c'est pour les filles et les matières scientifiques ce sont les matières de garçons. Donc cela a vraiment changé. Et puis comme je vous ai dit tantôt, l'usage de l'outil technologie dans l'enseignement. Donc, il faut utiliser la technologie au point où je pense que nous devons même revenir sur les lois d'usage du téléphone. Avec ce Covid, nous avons tous constaté, heureusement, je venais d'arriver et je me suis rendu compte que ce que j'ai appris là-bas était vraiment nécessaire parce que nous nous rendons compte qu'on a interdit l'usage du téléphone dans la salle de classe, mais il est important aujourd'hui de l'avoir pour passer à la technologie. Là, aux États-Unis où j'étais, tout était, même pour entrer dans le train, c'est une carte que vous utilisez, vous faites glisser la carte quelque part. Personne n'est là pour dire faites voir votre billet.
Déjà.
Tout est informatisé. On ne vous demande pas montrer le billet. Je vais regarder, vous êtes numéro tel. Non, vous glissez la carte là et ça vous laisse l'accès. Et l'accès s'ouvre, vous entrez. Donc, il faudrait que nous développions cet aspect-là dans nos enseignements. Il faudrait qu'on amène nos élèves à être aussi internationaux. Ils doivent être internationaux, monsieur.
Interesting experience there, Mr. Kemfa. What is that you're holding there?
Yeah, it is what they gave us is from the University of Massachusetts Lowell. When you finish your training, you graduate, and they give you certificate, if I can say so. So, on the day of the certification, they give you this, and then all of you wear to graduate from the university.
So you're an ambassador of Massachusetts University?
Yes, Massachusetts Lowell. Yes, they are the people who trained me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they should be proud seeing what you do for your country now back home. Now, let's come back now with you, Sanyik Cynthia, on what you organized here this week. A workshop on empowering lead teachers in STEM with inclusive competencies. What is STEM?
STEM is lead teachers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So what were you telling them for the days you were here?
Okay, I just want to say that this workshop was supposed to take place earlier on this year, but because of COVID-19, the workshop was postponed to this time, and the workshop was supposed to take place in Bafusam, but now we are having it online. This workshop is a grant that was won by the Alumni Association. It's a grant that was awarded by the Global Teacher Grant of the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. This grant brings together more than 60 teachers of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We're supposed to have just teachers of the West region, but now we have teachers all over the globe because the seminar or the workshop is going online on Zoom. So the objectives of this workshop is to develop an inclusive and learning-friendly environment for all teachers, especially teachers of STEM. Another objective of this workshop is to encourage gender equity in science classrooms, because we notice that students of the West region, where the project was normally supposed to be carried out, are shying away from the sciences, because the project was funded against the backdrop that most people from the two regions of Cameroon, especially those from the Northwest, had to migrate to the West region because of the current crisis. And so there was a need for a project like this to be organized, a workshop like this to be organized in that region, to educate teachers on improving or encouraging female students to participate in science subjects. And also the workshop is important because it talks to teachers of STEM to look or observe their learners carefully, to identify students of special needs, students of special needs, we are talking about disabled students. We are talking about students with other disabilities like hearing disabilities, physically challenged, mental disabilities. And then also, the workshop is also looking at those competencies of science teachers or teachers of STEM, how they can develop better their competencies in teaching and the different teaching strategies that they can use in delivering their lessons. And so we have hand-on approaches to help teachers, science teachers or teachers of STEM deliver their lessons. And lastly, the workshop also talked about developing an inclusive learning environment, which was my presentation. I presented on Monday. The workshop started on Monday, and I think I was one of the first presenters. Developing an inclusive and learning-friendly environment.
What was the problem there that you were trying to raise and trying to solve by giving that lecture?
Okay, we noticed that our learning environments are not learning-friendly. They are student-friendly, that is, a student is comfortable sitting in class and learning, but our environments are not that learning-friendly.
What's the narrow gap between comfortable sitting in class and not?
A learning-friendly environment is putting the learner at the center of his education, his or her education. It equally involves the teachers, the school administrators, the parents, the entire community. Everyone is involved in the learning of a child, the teaching and learning process. And it equally humbles the teacher to know that you are not all-knowing, to understand that we equally learn from our learners. That is the purpose of a learning-friendly environment. A learning-friendly environment is a two-way traffic. The teacher is giving out knowledge, the teacher too is equally receiving knowledge. And some of the characteristics of a learning-friendly environment is such that a parent can be invited to come to class. It's such that a role model from the community can be invited to come to class. It's such that I can go to class with Robert and Robert observes or sees what I'm doing and contributes. Robert can help me in identifying the needs of my learners because we have large classrooms and I cannot do it all alone. So a learning-friendly environment encourages all of these things. And we have different teaching strategies. I identify that this student is good in writing, this other student is good in listening, this other student is good in this other skill. So I need to identify the skills of my learners and reach all of them at their different points of need. And that's what we refer to as equity. Because equity is not just, equality is like, okay, everybody has an equal chance to something. But equity is different. Equity is knowing that, for example, Moki is not good in this. So if I'm teaching this to Moki, this is the approach I should use. That's what we call methodologies. So we need to have our different methodologies in place when we get to class in order to achieve a learning-friendly environment. I should be able to know that if this student does not see where, come forward. And also explain to the other students that, okay, since your friend doesn't see where, can you like sit with him rather than just abandoning students to themselves, abandoning them to their parents, not finding out from their parents how they're doing at home. And parents can also learn from us because we have some techniques that we use in classrooms that parents are finding difficulties handling their children at home.
Madam.
Thank you.
Teachers.
I can go on and on. So you just touch me.
I'm in class. Go ahead. I'm taking notes.
Okay, go ahead, madam. So like I was saying, most parents, those that are really interested in the learning process of their children, will always come to school to look for some teachers that maybe the child has told them about at home, that I like this particular teacher. We receive them every day. Some parents will come and say, I'm looking for this particular teacher. Please, I would like to talk to you. We encourage all teachers to be like some of us that are single, finger pointed, and parents come to school looking for us. Please, can I talk to you? My child has done this. How can I handle him? How can I handle that? So such parents could be invited sometimes to class to come and see. And when we invite them, we can equally invite people from our communities. Take, for example, if I invite somebody from one neighborhood, a community leader from a neighborhood that is characterized of stabbing. We know all the different funny neighborhoods we have in Yaoundé, and I'm teaching in a school around that neighborhood. I could invite a member of the community, maybe the chief of the community or the quarter heads, like we call them here, to come to school and see what students do. And then we have an agreement for him to go about, because our policies are not that good. We have good policies, but if I find a child walking on the street now, I may not ask the child what you're doing out of school, but normally every child should be in school because the child has the right to be in school. But if we use community leaders, they can help in bringing every child on board and making sure that they all succeed to the best of their abilities.
Robert,
Thank you.
you also had something, you had that, an expose, a lecture there. What were you talking about?
Oh, I actually was talking about my experience in the US, sharing my experience with the teachers in Cameroon in order to encourage them to take part in that program and come and join the Cameroon Tea Alumni Association for us to work together. Because for now, we still just 14 of us, and would like to be as many as possible so we can work in all the areas of Cameroon without any problem. So I shared my experience as a Fulbrighter. I told you I was in the University of Massachusetts, Lowell. So I was placed at a very good school, Andover High School, where I worked with my teacher. And I actually learned with the teacher that language is not just the grammar, the vocabulary, and the spelling, but language is also culture. So whenever we had a language class, I realized that apart from the grammar, the vocabulary, and the other thing, the culture of the language was there. So, for example, he was a teacher of English, French, and then he could also send me to other classes to teach literature. And whenever he had to teach Spanish, for example, if the lesson is on dancing or music, at the end, they will choose a special dance from Spain, and then the students will go home, learn about that, and come to school the following day, and then they teach their classmates the dancing of cha-cha-cha, for example. We danced that in class with the teacher, and it was not like, oh, this teacher is not doing anything, because that aspect of mixing language and culture was really very important for the student to actually understand what they were learning. That was quite good. Instead of insisting only on, oh, this spelling is not, no, that's not how they spell. That's not how they do this. That's not how, that cultural aspect of the language was taken into consideration. And as Cynthia was saying, friendly environment for learning. Whenever you entered the classes, it was not just like the walls are bare. No. They put things regarding the language on the board. On the walls, you see things on spelling, you see things on grammar, you see things. So the learners from time to time could just turn on the wall and they see everything that is there that could help them to learn. Also, there were books in classes, not that everything is taken home and the following day we come with some. You could take books to class and students could design the material. Like some were writing stories actually, and they were bringing to class and they were using the stories to teach them. That was quite good. And even the drawings, you can imagine that a student could take time to draw me and then bring it to class and they had to comment on that. Like it was really like hands-on learning. It was practical. It is more competence-based, actually, seen, practice, not just saying that this competence we're developing, but actually developing it, and the students are able to, even journalism. Do you know they have a studio in school where the students do journalism as you're doing? They invited me there, they interviewed us, I was with a Ghanaian, and then at the period of the lesson, or every Monday, they stop all the lessons, and in all the classes, the news, their school news goes on in their classes, and they watch what is happening. So actually, they had a conference room too, and a theater room where they could practice drama. And when they say they are studying literature, if they are studying a book from Cameroon, they really like to get a Cameroonian.
Talk about it. Now, this is moving well where you went to, because the curriculum, the examination is prepared that way, the school is prepared that way. If you start implementing it now in our country, in Cameroon, you need to change the whole curriculum. Don't you think that it is still a very long way to go?
It is maybe a long way to go, but that doesn't mean that we should cross our arms and wait. Actually, there is what we call total integration and partial integration. We language teachers, it means if we have something, we could start, like say, we're doing something on writing. Instead of just coming to class and then we're doing the writing by ourselves, and we should encourage the learners to write, get stories from their parents, bring them to class, and we study them together. So if we start integrating some of those, very soon we realize that our students, the ones we are teaching, are performing well, and maybe the decision makers might want to call us one day and say, but
and that's the secret. Now, Cynthia, I'm still asking the same question to you. It's a good initiative you're talking about, making schools learning, you call it teaching and learning friendly and those type of issues. But if it is happening only at the level of educational establishments where you are, you Fulbright scholars or Fulbright alumni, where you're represented, then the impact is not very huge, not very great.
I think that as teachers, it is true that we have just the classroom as our offices, but we touch lives of everybody in the community, because students come from different homes. We think that because we are working with students, we are limited. We aren't limited at all. I think that the fact that we have learners coming from different homes, different sociocultural backgrounds, different ethnic groups, it's a plus for us, because they would take some of these things out of the classroom to their homes, and their parents too that we get in touch with, they are people of different walks of life. I think that if we show a good example, they can copy, because little drops make an ocean. If we just fold our arms and sit and we don't do anything, thinking that because we are teachers, we work only with students, no, teaching has gone above that. That was the traditional way of looking at teaching. Now, teaching is a whole different ball game. If I talk to you and you go talk to another person, we are spreading the information. We are spreading the news. I may not come to work in CRTV to spread the news, but I use my learners. I use Robert. I use my association. We belong to other associations too, not just CAFTA. We belong to other associations, and we are doing our best in letting people know what we are supposed to be doing as teachers, and what others too can do to make their working environment friendly.
Our education officials trying to adopt the new way of doing things you're bringing up now?
Oh, they are.
At the level of an institution, and then
we had inspectors. We had inspectors for our Zoom workshop. We had inspectors involved. They are very, very enthusiastic. Very enthusiastic. They are open to giving your support. They are open to participate in the seminars and make sure that they use this in their seminars, because national inspectors are responsible for organizing seminars all over the Republic. So they take some of these things into consideration, and when they prepare their seminars, they bring some of those components in for the benefit of the rest of the teachers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have barely 4 minutes to be together, but I want to, Robert, there are many people, not only those who speak the English language, who may benefit. Can Francophones also French speakers also benefit from this training?
Yeah, they can.
Can you tell them in French how to go about, if they want to be like you, to go and benefit also from this training?
Oh oui, si vous êtes enseignant francophone, vous pouvez également bénéficier du programme. C'est un programme pour les enseignants de langue, les enseignants des sciences sociales, les enseignants de mathématiques, biologie, SVT. Donc, si vous pouvez parler anglais, parce qu'effectivement, vous allez faire un programme, c'est universitaire. Et d'ailleurs, je ne l'ai pas dit, on doit composer l'examen TOEFL. Après votre sélection, vous composez l'examen TOEFL. Donc, si vous pouvez composer l'examen TOEFL et avoir au moins 70, entre 70 et 80 sur 120, vous pouvez être sélectionné. Il suffit tout simplement que vous aussi, vous soyez des leaders dans vos communautés, que vous soyez des personnes qui ne vont pas à l'école, tout simplement enseigner et puis rentrer. Que vous enseignez et que vous allez au-delà de l'enseignement pour pouvoir guider d'autres enseignants en organisant des séminaires, pouvoir tenir l'élève en dehors de la salle de classe, gérer les problèmes de genre dans votre communauté.
C'est chaque année qu'on lance cette...
Oui, le programme est lancé chaque année par le département d'État américain. À l'heure où nous parlons, ceux qui voyageront l'année prochaine ont été sélectionnés déjà. Ils sont en train de préparer l'examen TOEFL. C'est chaque année, au mois de janvier, entre janvier et février, c'est lancé. Et vous pouvez aller dans le site de l'ambassade ou bien vous pouvez aller même sur notre page Facebook, celle CAFTAL Alumni Association. Vous allez voir le communiqué là-bas et vous préparez tout simplement vos dossiers. Vous les soumettez en ligne, vous n'avez pas besoin de vous déplacer.
Et qui choisit l'université là où vous allez être formé?
Là, ça se passe aux États-Unis. C'est le programme, c'est le département d'État. Ils ont un organe...
Département d'État américain.
Oui, ils ont un organe appelé IREX qui s'occupe des programmes d'échange. C'est IREX donc qui à la fin décide telle personne sera placée dans telle université ou dans telle autre selon la matière que vous enseignez, selon les compétences et le but pour lequel, parce que quand vous déposez vos dossiers, vous allez dire pourquoi est-ce que vous voulez effectivement aller pour ce programme. Vous devez dire qu'est-ce que vous voulez gagner de plus, qu'est-ce que vous voulez développer en fonction de ça, parce qu'il y a plusieurs universités et chaque université a sa spécificité dans la formation. Ils vont vous placer dans une université.
It is exactly 7 o'clock in Yaoundé and time to go to the newsroom for the news, but Cynthia and Robert, I would love that you stay again with us in the studio so we'll conclude after the news. I think we have to do that, and the teaching is very well done.
No problem.